We're learning more about the whistleblower. The Washington Examiner has an article that was written by Byron York, and it says that the title is "The Whistleblower Had Professional Ties to 2020 Democratic Candidate." It talks about this letter that was written by the IG, the Inspector General for the Intelligence Community, Michael Atkinson, who did testify in front of Congress the other day. The letter was written on August 26, and it said that the anonymous whistleblower who set off the Trump-Ukraine impeachment fight showed that there was political bias, arguable political bias in favor of a rival political candidate.
And for some reason, that was barely brought up when the DNI, the acting DNI, was in front of Adam Schiff. No one really talked. He said, well, this guy seems credible. Well, this woman seems credible. New York Times says it's a guy. But no one talked about the fact that there's political affiliation. Byron York says, yeah, and I think he's working for the candidates. Here's an excerpt from what Byron York discovered. He said, quote, all three sources said Atkinson did not identify the Democratic candidate with whom the whistleblower had a connection. It is unclear what the working or professional relationship between the two was. But to think that somebody's going to take down a president who is saying, by the way, I'm affiliated with somebody on the other side that wants the president's job is astounding. Back to what the Wall Street Journal says. The person who makes the accusation, anonymous. It's a secret. The other person, it's a secret. It's anonymous. So the president's supposed to just give in and say, okay, what can I do?
Well, the first whistleblower has whistleblower protection. That's why they went and they filed that thing. But there's a new poll that has come out from Harris. Should the whistleblower testify before Congress? 51% say yes, and it should be public. 35% say yes, and it should be private. Extraordinarily, only 14% think that the whistleblower should not talk. But nonetheless, now that we know that they had a professional relationship with a Democrat who wants Donald Trump's job, that's why Donald Trump sent this tweet out yesterday.
This was the president's tweet. The big deal whistleblower had a professional tie to 2020 Democratic candidate. Washington Examiner, Byron York, in other words, was working with someone who was potentially running against me. Why wasn't this reported by the ICIG a witch hunt scam?
Yeah, I mean, it was mentioned, but they still said it was enough to move it forward.
They said he was like a registered Democrat. Remember his attorney said, give me a break. Come on, he's just a Democrat. But then if you read this article, it talks about how the IG found out that the whistleblower actually worked for a Democrat.
And it sounds as if that revelation came up in the closed-door testimony on Friday, and then Byron talked to some people off the record, and they indicated they wouldn't say who the Democrat was. Right, but apparently there was a connection. And whoever the person is working with wants to take Donald Trump's job.
And also keep your eye on the courts for this. Evidently, a judge is looking at whether to release the Mueller underlying documents. All those documents taken over the course of 2 years might be flooded into the public domain. Well, that's going to be decided too.
The president has said he's going to declassify all those things.
I don't think he's going to declassify the grand jury testimony.
Well,
that could be that could be heading our way.
I think they're looking for the FISA stuff and things like that. They've been looking for that.
No, I'm talking about the Democrats want to release the Mueller report of the interviews.
Hey, Jillian, can't do that.